Hey friends, we're gonna get started here. We're gonna talk a little bit about meal planning today, just a recap from last week, and then we're gonna dive into alcohol and trying to prevent hangovers. For the meal planning, I know I sent out the week 10 information kind of late yesterday. I apologize for that, but you have that information now. So if you didn't do the meal planning last week, go ahead and try to do that for this week. I would just write down the meals that you are going to make, what days you're going to order food, or maybe go out to a restaurant if you're doing that now. Even if you don't have a definitive plan, coming up with a loose framework is going to help stick to your goals. It takes a lot of thinking out of your week. And then you can make sure that you have groceries and all the things that you need to make the different meals that you're going to make. It'll also help you make sure that you're more mindful about getting good protein and vegetables into your meals as you forecast the upcoming week. So give that a shot. And now we're going to dive into some alcohol. This is what drinking in moderation looks like. And that number is actually lowered. I'll share the CDC guidelines on our shared folder. For women, it's down to 1 drink in a day. For men, it's down to 2, drinking in moderation. For this one, or healthy drinking, I'll share the actual definitions with you guys on that shared drive. But for the purposes for today, we're talking about drinking in moderation. And it's a bunch of bullshit because men get to drink twice as much in a week. For women, it's up to 7 drinks per week. And you'll look at the volume of the drinks. So a bottle of wine in 1 glass obviously does not make 1 drink, but it's a 5-ounce glass of wine. So up to 7 per week, no more than 3 on any single day. For men, that's 14 per week, but with no more than 4 drinks on any single day. So that's in terms of moderate drinking. You can't save up all of your drinks and just pound them on Saturday. It's spread out. Again, kind of a bummer, but this is what we're talking about for moderation. As we're talking about booze, if you are trying to be more mindful about alcohol consumption, or if you have different goals and you find that alcohol might be preventing you from hitting your goals, we're going to talk a little bit about trade-offs first, and we'll get into an exercise you can do on your own after this. Saying yes to your body comp goals might mean that you have to say no to a few drinks after work or on a weekend as you're hanging out. So if you're trying to become a little bit leaner or have more definition with your muscles, you know, that 6-pack abs, or if you're trying to lose weight to fit into a different, you know, a pair of jeans or dress that you haven't worn in a while, you might have to make some decisions where you're going to say, no, this is more important to me right now than having this drink or 2 at the end of the day. And you can kind of go through the list here. Having drinks can also alter your ability to have a good night's sleep, your focus, your mood. You might find that you're more stressed or anxious if you have a drink every day or over consume on the weekends. So start to think about trade-offs. And then we're going to talk about observing your drinking habits. One of the easiest things that you can do with your observations is to write it down. I shared a journal, a drinking journal, if you will, in the shared folder. So you can use that to record your drinks during the week. Maybe you forgot about that glass of wine on Monday as you were making dinner, or the beer you had while you were playing a round of golf or watching some of the NBA or the 90 Day Fiance show. So observe your drinking habits. How much are you drinking? What's the situation when you're drinking? Are you enjoying the drink? If you're pounding drinks, that might be a sign that it's more habitual and not purposeful. And maybe you could start to scale back a little bit by just being more mindful about your drinks and enjoying each sip that you're taking. Are there themes or patterns? Is it as soon as you like turn off the laptop on Friday, you automatically make that vodka soda or whiskey rocks or grab the White Claw? Is it just an immediate pattern? And then is alcohol helping you enjoy life or is it stressing you out? Does it end up with binge eating or sleeping in too late and missing out on a workout or going to the farmer's market or waking up and looking at your phone and saw that you texted your ex? So is drinking adding to your life or is it taking away from some of the things that you're wanting to do? Moving on, start to notice how alcohol affects your body. When you're drinking, do you feel good? The next day, do you still feel good? Or while you're drinking and the next day you end up feeling terrible, I would say maybe alcohol isn't the best thing for you. So start to make some observations about how alcohol is affecting your body. You can go through the list here. I would say if you're having a hangover or even a 2-day hangover, what you're doing right now is not working for you, especially if it's happening on a regular basis. If you have weight loss goals, is the alcohol adding some calories that maybe you don't want right now? Maybe it's that extra drink at the night that leads to ordering a deep dish pizza and pounding it without even thinking about it. Have you had any blood or lab work that is indicating that maybe the alcohol is impacting how your body is functioning? And then we're going to talk about how alcohol is affecting your thoughts and emotions, your general perspective on life. Do you feel in control of your drinking or does it get out of control? What kind of person are you when you're drinking? Are you fun and light? Or do you end up getting sad and depressed or angry? And then ask yourself, if you had to stop drinking for a week, what would that be like? Now, before I move on, if you are a person that doesn't enjoy alcohol and just doesn't drink, you can also apply some of these tips or strategies with junk food or desserts, or we'll talk a little bit in the upcoming weeks with weed. So is weed impacting how you feel or when you start to order a bunch of food after you've smoked and just mindlessly eat for a bunch of hours and then all of a sudden you don't know how you ate an entire bag of Doritos, and then why is there like 3 orders from Grubhub that you pounded without even thinking about it because you were just really hungry? I know it's not going to be that extreme, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in the upcoming weeks. So apply this to whatever is impacting you the most right now. We're going to stick with the alcohol theme though. You can start to play Let's Make a Deal. So what am I currently saying yes to? Or what am I willing to say yes to? And then you can say what I'm currently saying no to. What am I willing to say no to? So going back to the trade-offs, is saying yes to an afternoon of mimosas, into bubbles, into whiskey. Totally fine, sounds super fun actually, but then does that mean that you have to say no to the workout the next day or working towards some fitness goals like hitting a new number on bench press or being able to run a quicker mile because you're missing workouts and then you feel like crap for 2 days? So kind of play this little let's make a deal game. And I'm going to say this once again, there's no right or wrong way to do any of this. Whatever works best for you is what you should focus on. If having that drink on a Saturday afternoon is bringing you a ton of joy and you're mindful about it, I'd say go for it. I'm not saying stop drinking. I'm just asking you to pause and be really intentional. So there's choices and compromises. Unfortunately, we can't say yes to a day-long drinking or eating a bunch of like highly processed foods and being able to deadlift, whatever deadlift numbers you want to have, or fit into the pair of jeans that you wore last year that are a little tight right now. So think about choices and compromises, not right and wrong. I love this strategy, disrupting the autopilot. If drinking is something that you're trying to play around with, start to switch the script here a little bit. Maybe wait 10 minutes before you have your next drink. Maybe you really taste your drink and savor it, and then give yourself permission to stop if you don't enjoy it and get something else. Just throw the beer away, cocktail down the sink, whatever it is. And then if you continue to focus on quality over quantity, you may find that you end up drinking less. So get the really good stuff and enjoy the crap out of it. All right, so if we're still getting hangovers and we're feeling crappy, let's talk about the why. One of the reasons is that you're dehydrated and you need to get more some potassium and sodium in your body. While you are boozing, you probably had to pee a bunch, and when you're peeing, you're kind of peeing out all of that hydration and electrolytes, essentially. And then when we start to drink kind of quickly and to a higher volume, so thinking over more than one drink, our body changes ethanol to this super toxic compound, and then it is really hard to process. And that's one of the reasons that make why you're so, that you feel so crappy the next day, why the hangover sucks as much. Another reason is the products in booze from fermentation or distillation is really hard on your body. And so you end up just feeling crappier as a result, which is why clear spirits, the lighter wines, and even like the higher quality wines are going to be a little bit easier on your body. Same thing when you mix like a ton of sugar, simple syrups, juices with your drinks. It's just going to make your body feel crappier because your body has to work so much harder to process that out of the system. All right, to prevent hangovers, start here, and then I'll share some more advanced techniques. Option one, obviously, is, choose not to drink if this is not working for you. I think you guys are all super awesome and you don't need booze to be fun. So if you find that drinking alcohol is just not in your wheelhouse, I think there are enough people that have chosen a booze-free life and are still doing awesome. So just don't have the drink if you don't feel forced like you have to. That being said, drink until you're buzzed and then stop. Stay in this fun zone. You don't need to keep pounding drinks after you feel that little happy little buzz. Make sure you're drinking water. I like to do a water bomb before the drink, before the cocktail. So you get a glass of water and just drink it real quick, and then move on to the cocktail and sip it and enjoy it. And then make sure you're eating before you drink and while you drink. I know a lot of people try to exchange the food calories for the booze calories, but it doesn't work like that. You're gonna feel like crap, so make sure you get some food. And then if you ignore all of these things, but remember one thing, once you get home or once you go to bed, if you did consume a ton of alcohol, drink 2 large glasses of water right before you go to bed. You can do a coconut water, or you can add in something like Emergency or something else to get some electrolytes. That's going to help with how you feel the next day. Then there are some supplements that you could add in. This first one I haven't tried, but there's a bunch of people who swear by it. So I'll share some information on that. Adding magnesium before you go to bed. And you might just start doing magnesium every day. It's something that we all get depleted, especially living in a city and drinking coffee and alcohol, and we need more of it, not less of it. This could be a powder, or there's sprays and lotions that you can use as well. So I would start looking into some magnesium. Milk thistle, I've taken before. Pretty awesome. I've taken the pill and liquid form. The liquid form I think is really gross, but the pill is pretty easy to take. I do Emergency. I typically do a vodka soda with Emergency on, the session days of drinking. So during March Madness, where I am at the bar for 10 or 12 hours. And then stick to 1 or 2 types of liquor. So don't mix a bunch of different things during the day. If you're gonna have White Claw, stick with White Claw. And then back in the day when we went to the bar, if you would do a shot, do one type of shot for the day. If you're doing like a brunch into like a dinner, stick with the same thing. So maybe at brunch, you have mimosas, just one other drink choice at dinner. Don't have like wine and then beer and then a whiskey or anything like that. And then the next day, if you are feeling like crap, these are things that have worked for us and other people have also sworn by it. Mineral water, it's magic. I don't know why. I feel better when I have it if I'm like super hungover. My hangovers, I get maybe once a year, maybe twice. But mineral water is something that I definitely do when I get a hangover. We use activated charcoal, especially on vacation when we are not super mindful about what we're eating or drinking because we're just enjoying our vacation. But activated charcoal is super awesome. You can do that the night before, the morning after. Taking aspirin can help. Drinking coffee and then adding in collagen is a nice little bonus. Bone broth, and then any beverage with some electrolytes, so coconut water or adding like a powder into some water. Really quick, intense exercise session can help. You want to sweat a bunch, get things moving. And then the last thing is if you are okay with coconut, go ahead and eat some of that for some potassium. That will do some magic and make you feel better. So those are some of the things that have worked for us. And before I sign off, in addition to the meal planning, if you haven't done that and maybe playing around with some of these strategies surrounding alcohol, let's revisit what habits are you most confident about right now? What do you think might be challenging for this upcoming week? And maybe what is one thing you can do to be 1% better this week with whatever you're working on? That is all. I'll start sharing some more information to this folder for today because there's a lot of information that I referenced, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great rest of the day and weekend. Bye, guys.